Dr. Petty and the CBP safeguard our agricultural economy through early detection and prevention, and also work with the trade community to foster awareness and to educate the public on this growing threat to the agricultural sector. With having an entomologist within the Houston area, it's instrumental to us being able to have the most efficient response on the identification of pests that are found. The most important is the ability to take the appropriate action, and second, to allow our process to be as quick as possible.
Perfect. So that was a great introduction. I'm Dr. Bryan Petty. I've been with PPQ now for, I think, 5 years, but I've been kind of involved doing this entomology thing for the last 12. I got my Ph.D. from the University of Arkansas in entomology, and then did a postdoc at Rutgers University in New Jersey. Most of my work, including my work with PPQ, has primarily been research or control of invasive pests in the United States, which slides in perfectly with ISPM 15. By far, the most important things that we see coming through the Port of Houston are these first 4 families, the Curculionids, Buprestids, Cerambycids, and Cyricids. By far, the most common group intercepted in the Port of Houston environment are the Cerambycidae. These are the longhorn beetles, as you can tell from their name, where they get that name from. They have these enormous antennae that are frequently longer than their entire body. The most important one of these that has been introduced to the United States recently is the Asian longhorn beetle, which was introduced into New York from China I want to say in the early 2000s. These species generally have, a multi-year life cycle, taking 2 to 3 years in order to develop. The introduction of the emerald ash borer in New York originally, before it was controlled, it was introduced through solid wood packing pallets in the maritime environment, spread to Boston, Ohio, and has now shown up in South Carolina. In New York, this has resulted in basically the destruction and removal of all hardwood trees in New York City, and the destruction or removal of almost all hardwood trees in Boston in order to quarantine this insect. Our final bug example, at least, is the spotted-winged drosophila. This was introduced into the U.S. from China in the mid-2000s, like 2006, 2007, 2008, and spread across the contiguous 48 lower states within 3 years. These are very small fruit flies that tend to attack unripened soft fruit like berries or cherries. And if you were really eating any berries in like 2010, 2011 from anywhere in the United States, you were eating an enormous number of these maggots. So they tend to melt the fruit. They reproduce so quickly that the fruit just can't withstand the damage. One pregnant female introduced into a fruit orchard or a fruit farm over the course of the summer will become 9 billion flies.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Petty. Students, go ahead.
Would any of these invasive species that have been coming into the U.S. serve a more beneficial use in human society, besides just something that we need to now deal with and probably be best if we could remove it? They play a role in coexisting with human society and becoming beneficial in a way.
There is one extremely famous beneficial, the honeybee. Honeybees are not native to North America. They were brought purposefully, and then they invaded the environment. They're European in origin. So those are beneficial because we use them as pollinators. They do naturally pollinate a lot of things, not just for beekeepers, but for everyone. So that's probably the most famous beneficial invasive. But generally speaking, when we get insects coming into the port environment, which we know are not native to the United States, but we don't believe they'll have any hazardous impact, we will not ask the importers to control for them.
I was wondering if are there any worthwhile species to talk about that come from the United States that are invasive to other countries that they definitely don't like in their country?
Oh, definitely. The one that I always like using is we accidentally exported ragweed to Turkey.
Oh.
And if you think ragweed is bad here, there's nothing there that eats ragweed or controls it. So it's just everywhere, just smothering the whole country. And it's going to probably spread through most of the Middle East. So that's not a good invasive for them to deal with.
Okay, we're just about hitting 11 here. I don't want to take any more of your time, Dr. Petty. I want to thank J.J. Kettler and Diana Davil also for joining here to support the students. And Dr. Petty, personally, and on behalf of University of Houston and all the students here, thank you for doing this. Thank you for your day-to-day work on helping us understand and protect the U.S. and our agriculture. This is really, really cutting edge and very impressive.
My pleasure. I love giving these talks to students and to the public.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Petty.
Thank you.
Love listening to you speak.